welcome back to my film and TV channel, one of our regular features that goes on for, I think it's 12 weeks, 12 or 13, I've still not checked, I think it's 12 or 13 weeks. Of course, we're looking at The Apprentice, we're looking at season 16, and we're up to week 9. Yes, I'm going to have a look at something called the shopping channel. This is possibly my best episode so far this series. This one, I quite enjoyed this one. I think it's good fun. I don't think they've had I think one of my other ones is where we try and buy stuff from different places. I'm not sure they've done that this series. I'm not too sure. Is it COVID, the problems with COVID? I'm not too sure. But anyway, that's by the by. I do like these shopping channel ones. So that's what we're going to look at today. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button. Push the bell notification so you know these vlogs are coming out. I do movie reviews as well, TV drama reviews, information vlogs on what's out to buy, stuff at the cinema, stuff like that. So please join me and tell your friends, and please, you can give us a thumbs up, make an old man very, very happy. As I said, I did enjoy this, so this made me happy. This made me, this episode of shopping, I am looking forward to it. We get to near the last legs of this, get to the nub of it. We get to the sharp end of this series. I am sort of enjoying it more, even though obviously the talent perhaps isn't great. I'm not going to say it's some of the worst talent we've seen. I won't say that, but it is a little bit lackluster. But yeah, we're getting to near, at least, we're getting guys that are sort of, I've got a chance now. Let's talk about this episode 9, the shopping channel. Of course, we lost Nick last week, didn't we, on the Silverstone task. Possibly wasn't sacked for that effort on the Silverstone thing. I think it was just basically his poor performances adding up in total, and that tends to be the case now as you get towards the last few contestants. So we've got 7 remaining. My at the end list. Let me know yours at the end of this one, guys. Please, there is spoilers in this, of course there is. So if you've not watched it yet, please don't watch this. Go and watch it first, and come back and see what you think, or if you agree with me or disagree with me. Yeah, my top 7 at this point in time. Obviously, I've got Harpreet. Yeah, Harpreet actually snuck up recently. It was sort of Catherine or Stephanie, but I've got Harpreet at the top. This was before this episode. Catherine, Stephanie, Aaron, Brittany, Akshay, and holding them all up, I've got Akeem at the bottom. Infinity won last week. Team Infinity, Brittany, Aaron, Harpreet, and Akeem. And Diverse are down to 3 now, so there's only 3 on Diverse. So I think it's a little bit unfair when you get to these low levels. Obviously, one of the teams had to be one person, which Akshay took responsibility for as PM. That's fair enough. In Team Diverse with Catherine, Akshay, and Steph. Interesting to see how we cope with the 2 very strong female sort of colleagues, candidates. That's it, isn't it? Candidates in this. So they went off to Greenwich Market, so that obviously they were trying to decide what this was all about. And of course, it was to sell live an hour each. I think they got, I did look at the clock, it looked more like 45 minutes, but I might be wrong. But they did say it was an hour for each of them to sell a range of items. TJC, I'm not familiar with the shopping channels. I think I have heard of TJC, but it's not something I've watched many years ago, but I don't really watch it anymore. Brittany put herself forward for PM. And again, quickly, as the girls have done, I think, for most of this series, Harpreet supported her straight away. And obviously, Mr. Nodding Dog Akeem, who sort of just goes along with anything, he supported it as well. And even though, of course, Aaron did actually put himself forward, but obviously the girls, as I said, the girls have been very, very good at backing each other throughout this series. So again, Brittany got the PM. She was quite excited about it. Akshay was made PM, of course, last week by Lord Sugar, so he had that task this week, and yeah, he taught a good game, and I think he got on all right with the 2 very strong ladies in Steph and Catherine, of course, who've been up in the top 2 or 3 probably most of this series. So it was interesting to see how he would cope. I think he did cope overall, obviously with looking after, actually running the thing, and he sounded very, very confident. He might sound confident. Sometimes you can sound confident and not be confident, but he certainly did that. And Brittany, as I said, Brittany was Brittany. She's bubbly. She's excited. She wants to do it. Even Akeem looked quite up for it before sort of going back into his shell a little bit as the thing progressed. When speaking with the channel, yeah, I mean, obviously I was watching this, and you just knew straight away that Steph and Catherine, they don't have a lot I think Catherine has more, but Stephanie, they're not people. I mean, Stephanie's definitely not a people person. She's not a people manager. She's not one of these likable characters. I think Catherine's a little bit better at that. We'll talk about that later on as well, which I can't understand that who the actual relationship and the decision to sell on the channel as well would come into it. And of course, they were a bit more about the money. They were all about the money, the financial side of it. And Aaron and Brittany were more gushing, more nice, more personable, and trying to be nice to the people who actually were trying to buy stuff off. And you could see even at that stage before the episode progressed that Steph and Catherine were going to struggle on that side of it. And if anything, Aaron and Brittany were going to do very, very well. Akshay himself was looking at the products to sell. He was bouncing questions off Karen. I'm not too sure whether Karen actually answered them or whether he was actually talking to himself. He looked as though he was talking to Karen, but she certainly didn't have anything to say. But I say, we don't know how this is edited together. But yeah, obviously, it just more or less looks as though he's talking to himself, even though he's looking at Karen for some sort of advice. But obviously, she's not allowed to do that, is she? Harpreet and Aaron wanted the ring. Of course, he did. But so too did Steph and Kath. But again, as I said, Steph and Kath more worried about the financial side rather than trying to be likeable to the people they're going to sell on behalf. And obviously the bubbly Brittany. And yeah, equally bubbly Aaron. He has that sort of character from a male perspective. We're going to win this. I decided that, and obviously made the phone calls. And of course, Harpreet and Aaron actually got the ring. Sorry, Brittany and Aaron actually got the ring, and Steph and Kath lost out, unfortunately. And it was that lack of passion and just looking at the financials that really did backfire, and that was sort of the trend for this episode. From a ring to an air fryer then for Steph and Kath, which is another good product, a pricey product as well, and something that we'll look at the figures later on that does sell very, very well. So even though they didn't get the ring, which was a chance, Brittany wanted to go for that high-end thing. It was a chance. Obviously, it started at silly prices, wasn't it? About $3,999, but they were obviously could go down to about $7.99 or $8.99 or something like that. So it's a hell of a difference. As I say, I've never gone on these shopping channels, but I mean, what's the point of bidding for anything until the last minute or two? Anyway, I don't see that. It's just presentation. It's just a show, isn't it? At the end of the day. So they're left with the air fryer, which again would probably have to. I think you had to sell 7 air fryers to make a ring. So if you sold one ring, they would have to sell the equivalent of 7 air fryers, which was going to take some doing. So obviously, solar power. We also got, interesting enough, Harpreet and Akeem went away to secure 3 other items to sell, and they got a solar powered owl light. Yes, a 6-piece bedding set and an inflatable flamingo. Victory assured, I'm sure, with those items. On the face of it, an unusual eclectic mix, I think the word is. I think they used that in the episode as well. Very eclectic. Steph, I mean, we saw, excuse me, they did some promo videos, but we didn't get to see them in full because it was quite interesting. I mean, again, I don't understand the logic with Steph and Catherine. Catherine is more personable. Catherine should have been the person behind, actually being filmed and doing the promotional video, and Steph should have just been behind the camera. I just don't understand. They made a big mistake there. Whether trying to spread the load, I'm not too sure, but obviously Kath was commenting on how moody Steph was looking, and that's just a normal look. But it is hard if you're not got that personality. It's hard just to switch it on and off. You have to try, and obviously, why didn't they just change over? But as I said, they might have just agreed to do it, and once they agreed to do it, they must think they have to stick with it, which they don't have to, of course. Well, as I said, I would have loved to have seen the video because I haven't got a clue what Brittany was doing. She was flouncing around and swirling her hair, and I mean, a long time since I've been able to do that, of course. But yeah, I'm not too sure. But Brittany obviously deserved an Oscar for her little walk-on parts. But as I said, without seeing the videos, I'm not too sure what it was all about, in all fairness. Akshay bought the portable steamer, which is okay, saves ironing, an exercise vibration plate, looked a bit awkward to me, and the piece de resistance, a snail wrinkle care cream. Apparently doesn't smell like snails, which is fortunate. And then again, I've never lifted a snail up and had a sniff, so I'm not too sure what they would smell like. And this is from Chilean farmers, apparently, with very soft hands because they handle snails. What they do in handling snails, probably it's a pest, isn't it, I suppose. So, yeah, probably job done for this team based on that. Obviously, they're going to sell a lot of care cream from Chilean farmers who've got soft hands. So, it worked for me. I'm sure it worked for a lot of people. Yeah, Brittany wasn't overly impressed with the team's purchases. As I said, they may have to rely on the ring, but she and Aaron looked as deflated as that blow-up flamingo. And the selling on the night, yes, that was interesting. Aaron and Brittany, a quiet start, a nervy start, which you'd expect first time on TV. Of course, they've got to be nervous. Al and Brittany wasn't quite as bubbly. She grew into it as you like any presentation. If you're presenting to a board meeting, or I mean, I was doing board meetings and presenting to managers and directors when I was about 19, 20 years old, and it's very nerve-wracking. But you do grow into it. You can be nervous, but after, if you're sort of confident in what you're doing, you do grow into the thing. So they did get better. Obviously, but it was hard work. It's hard work for both teams on the selling side. The flamingo bit, I mean, the owl, I don't know. We never got to find out what individually he's at. We got a couple of the sale numbers, but we didn't get to know on all of them, so we had no idea. But I mean, if they sold any of them, I would have been surprised. But it was quirky, so they might have done. The flamingo, obviously, they were saying from the studio that Hakeem was begging them to be more live with the flamingo, fling it around and do various things with it. But I mean, worse could have happened if it had popped. It wouldn't have helped sale figures, would it? But a flamingo was a strange buy anyway. The ring didn't look at its best, had a bit of fluff on it. They had to try and clean it. She cleaned it on the top, and it went down to about $8.99.99. I mean, I think it did perhaps charged a 10, and they might have sold a few thousand of them. I'm not too sure, but they only had 6. I think they had 6 to sell on the night. 6-piece bed set. Again, not very exciting. Apparently, Aaron was knackered by the time he got over there. He said that live on air. I'm not sure it's a word you possibly use live on television. It didn't. He sort of offered himself. He didn't offer himself, but he did mention that obviously he didn't come with the bed. So I'm sure many people would have been happy. Some people perhaps wouldn't. So that's how it is. Steph and Kathy, yeah. So they did all right. They did okay. I thought they did okay. It's no surprise because they're both personable enough. But Steph and Catherine, yeah, it was a bit of a disaster from start to finish. And again, I don't understand the logic of Steph and Catherine being in front of the camera, being the salespeople. Certainly, Catherine. Again, going back to what we said at the start of this vlog, Catherine, yes, I can see that. But yeah, Steph. They said it was life-changing, then I was told they couldn't say it was life-changing. The massage gun was a total disaster. I mean, you just talk to each other, don't you? If you've got two girls working together, and you just talk. You don't have to speak over each other, which they did. They just talk to each other. I mean, the air fryer looked a little bit boring on the selling front, but we only get to see what they sell. And of course, the snail cream, there was no Chilean miner to sort of shout its wonderful properties. So they sort of got through that okay. And he did say it was vegan friendly. Why you would say it was vegan friendly, I have no idea. I mean, it was just off the top of someone's head, but they had to take that back because it wasn't vegan friendly. But it was friendly, of course. So yeah, overall, Brittany and Anna were far better. I say Steph and Catherine. I have no idea where Akshay didn't take the lead in this, and he and Catherine sold it. I think it may have worked out a little bit better. They would have been hard pressed still to win this task based on personality and presenting. But Akshay and Catherine would have been a better fit, surely. And I thought that even before they started doing it, I was very surprised. Into the boardroom, of course. Kath and Steph had a little bit of fallout about when they were trying to sell the massager, and Steph was also unfortunately mic'd up and said the word shit live on air, so that didn't go. She looked mortified. And again, I mean, I feel a little bit sorry for these things happen. Of course, it's when you're not used to this sort of thing. So obviously, she was a bit mortified by that. Lord Sugar was commenting, of course, about Harpreet, who more or less took over from Hakeem. There's no surprise there. I mean, Hakeem starts off bravely and then just fades into the background all the time. So the sales themselves, diverse, 83 sales for £2,089 plus a few pennies. And Infinity, 56 sales, less, but more money, 2,544. And I think they sold one ring. So that made the difference in the end, the one ring they did sell. So it did work. It was one away from not working, but it did work. So I wouldn't have minded a breakdown, though, of what they did sell. We get a bit more information on something else in a moment, the air fryer. When we got into the boardroom, of course, we get this information. But it's no surprise, personality-wise, in both procuring the products, in both getting obviously they had to sort of fight for the ring with the other team, and Steph and Catherine lost out on that, as I say, just by asking the wrong questions and not looking interested enough in the products and the person who wanted to sell it. So big mistake. Steph may be strong, but she does lack a lot of people skills and a lot of personality, unfortunately. I mean, I'm sure her business acumen's very, very good, but she isn't very personable. So she that is a worry for me. As I say, she would be probably top of my list otherwise. Anyway, but it's really whether Lord Sugar wants to lose one of these two girls who are very strong. It may surprise us. May surprise us and keep Akshay, but he did look dodgy. Akshay was the PM, and as I said, he's against two very strong girls. And he probably didn't do enough. And they mentioned the massager. Yeah, they would normally sell 85 apparently on this channel, and they actually only sold 4. So again, that was possibly the difference between winning and losing. And again, as I said, the girls performed poorly trying to sell that. 6-time loser Akshay, and he's lost 8 out of 9 tasks, says Lord Sugar. So yes, he as expected, we didn't get a surprise. Akshay was on his way, and Lord Sugar sacked Akshay, which didn't really come as any surprise. The girls are living on what they've done before, which is fair enough because they are still strong candidates. On You're Fired, the panel agreed, more or less. The panel agreed that yes, all 3 said Akshay should have been fired. No qualms with that. And the audience, just I think, probably 60-40, 65-35, that he should have been fired, but I don't think there's many arguments. So there we go. We've got 6 left now. We've got 6 left with us. Not many boys left, and the boys that are there are not very good. So here's my top 6. Please let me know what you think, and please let me know what your top 6 are. I am still going to keep Harpreet there. It was a bit of a quieter week for her. She got a little bit of a trouble for taking over, but again, she was with Akeem, and it's just natural you would sort of take the lead if you're doing anything with Akeem because of his laid back or quieter attitude. So no surprise. So I will leave Harpreet top. I'm not utterly convinced it won't end up as Catherine and Stephanie in the final. I'm not totally convinced, but I will leave Harpreet up there for now. But she's not had a great couple of weeks for me. I don't think she was great last week. She's not been great this week. Catherine, I'll leave her second. Though she was in the final 3, I don't think of the 3 she was the one really in trouble. I think Stephanie was probably more in trouble. She was fine in the end, of course. I would put Stephanie third. She's just not a people person. She had a bad week last week. She looked a little bit down and muted last week, and she's a little bit lively this week, but she's still not quite at it. We're not too sure why. Perhaps there's something else going on as well. But she just isn't that likeable, unfortunately. All no disrespect to Stephanie, but she's just finding it hard to sort of be loved, if you like, from that point of view. But I will leave her in third spot, and as I say, I certainly won't be surprised if she gets to the final. Brittany, upper play again. Brittany, I would tend to want to put her higher, but the trouble with Brittany is I don't think she's proved business-wise. She's very personal, very likeable. But obviously, I'm not sure what her business plans are, etc. But I don't think, from a business point of view, she's shown her abilities to act and be confident and sell and be bubbly. But there's a lot we don't know about Brittany, so I will have to leave her into fourth spot, the worst of the girls. And the bottom 2, I would put Aaron just over Akeem. Aaron is still nice, but he's pretty weak. He's just a nice guy, and that's all we can say, really. There's not much more we can say. And Akeem is a nice guy, but more wishy-washy than Aaron, who at least tries to sort of put his point of view forward. So there you go, guys. We're down to the last 6, and next week it's baby food, of course. So that will be very interesting. And obviously, we will have 2 teams of 3, so they will have to mix the teams slightly because one of the teams has only got 2 at the moment. And then obviously the week after that, it's the interviews, isn't it? Bound down to the last 5, so it's getting to the old crux of the matter. But yeah, as I said, I did enjoy this episode. I thought this episode was very, very good, and I look forward to baby food next week. Obviously, you get a little bit of a preview of it, don't you? It looks quite funny, but hopefully it'll be as entertaining as it was this week. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do rest day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.